not possible.
The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, has failed to open his defense in his ongoing alleged terrorism trial before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu said he could not open his defense because he's not being handed the case file to enable him study its contents to allow him adequately prepare for his defense. At the resumed hearing on Friday, the prosecuting lawyer, Adeboyega Awomolo, told the court that the case was scheduled for Kanu to open his defense. When it was his turn to speak, Kanu said he will be representing himself. He then told the court he would not be able to open his defense as he has not been able to access the case file. Kanu said those who were to bring the case file to him in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, where he is currently being held, could not do so and prayed the court for an adjournment till Monday, October 27. He added he was expecting witnesses from all over the world and applied for an order that the DSS should allow him access to people even on Saturday and Sunday for the purpose of preparing for his defense. Justice Awomolo did not object and ordered the DSS to allow him to receive visitors on non-working days.
Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has given the Biafra Nation agitator, Nnamdi Kanu, till Monday, October 27, to open his defense in the terrorism charge against him. The judge fixed a new date on Friday following the complaint by Kanu that his former lawyers, led by a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, AGF, Kanu Agabi, SAN, has not released his case file to him to study. When the matter was called, Adeboyega Awolowo, SAN, the prosecution lawyer, announced appearance for the federal government and that the business of the day was for Kanu to kickstart his defense as earlier ordered by the court. However, no lawyer appeared for Kanu. Kanu, who entered the dock with a bundle of documents, announced appearance for himself and thereafter informed the judge that his legal team, sacked on October 23rd, has not released the case file to him. He said he was constrained to ask for an adjournment to enable him to get the case file and study it to be able to prepare fully for his defense. Besides, he said he intends to call 23 witnesses from within and outside the country and urged the court to issue order to the Department of State Service, DSS, to permit the foreign witnesses to assess him. He also asked the judge to, order DSS to allow his lawyers have access to him on non-working days, which was promptly granted. Counsel to the federal government, Awolowo, said that the complaint of Kanu was strange because he was in the courtroom for hours with his former lawyers. Awolowo SN also reminded the judge of the 6 days issued to Kanu to open and close defense and urged the court to strictly adhere to the order. Justice James Omotosho, in brief response, said he was mindful of granting adjournment because of Kanu's claim of not having the case file. The judge said that the allegation that Kanu Agabi did not release the case file was strange and unbelievable, but that he would obey the defendant an adjournment. He, however, warned against undue delay, especially wastage of the judicial time of the court, adding that several other cases have, suffered delay because of Kanu's matter. The judge subsequently fixed Monday, 27, for the defendant to open his defense. So, until the 7th day of October, we will going to be watching and see to what this case bring forth.
Nnamdi Kanu's case in court. There was a protest on Monday, but he was set to open his defense yesterday. And you were listed as one of his witnesses.
Compelling witness.
Alongside a number of other notable Nigerians, so former Attorney General, some governors, former governors as well, and another minister, Dave Umahi, was listed as well. I do not know if you're aware of this and why it is that you have been listed as one of the witnesses in this case.
If you see Nnamdi Kanu, you ask him, why did he list me? I did not go to say I want to be a witness. You are the one saying that. So if you see him, ask him, why did you list Wike as one of your witnesses.
Have you not seen it?
I'm coming. I don't listen. See, you don't become a witness by reading newspaper. Nobody has served me any process. Nobody has subpoenaed me. So because I saw Wike's listed, therefore, I'm going to run helter skelter. No, you don't do that. If I am served, if I am subpoenaed to come and give witness or to give evidence, I must obey the court. I must appear. But not on pages of newspaper. Nobody does that.
Excellency.
And so as to why I should be listed, he who chooses me there, you should ask him the question. But if I am invited, if I am supposed to come, go home and sleep. I will be there.
That was Nyesom Wike, the Nigerian Minister of Capital Territory, addressing the recent inclusion of his name as a potential witness in the terrorism trial of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. During a media briefing in Abuja on Friday, October 24th, Wike expressed surprise upon learning of his listing as a witness, stating, "If you say Nnamdi Kanu, ask him why he listed me. I did not go to him to say I want to be a witness." Wike clarified that he had not been formally served with any court summons or subpoena to testify. He emphasized, "You don't become a witness by reading the newspapers. Nobody has served me any process. Nobody has summoned me." Let's go into legal analysis of this. Legally, simply being named as a potential witness does not obligate an individual to appear in court. In Nigeria's judicial system, a person only becomes legally compelled to testify once they are, formally served with a subpoena. Wike is correct in emphasizing that reading about his inclusion in media does not, constitute a legal summons. Until the court formally issues a process, there is no enforcement duty to appear. Secondly, compliance with the judicial authority. Wike has affirmed that he would comply if subpoenaed. This is important legally because it shows respect for the rule of law and preserves his credibility. Failure to comply with a court-issued subpoena could actually constitute contempt of court, which carries a serious penalties. His statement indicates a readiness to follow due process while protecting his rights until formally engaged. From a legal strategy perspective, Nnamdi Kanu's listing of prominent figures, including Wike, may serve multiple purposes. First, political signaling, demonstrating that influential public figures are, tangentially linked to his case, could shape public perception. Secondly, the defense might hope to pressure the prosecution or government by including well-known, potentially sympathetic figures. Thirdly, courts often require a list of potential witnesses early in proceedings. Inclusion does not guarantee they will testify. Then, in political perspectives, as the Nigerian Minister of the FCT and the former governor, Wike is a high-profile political figure. Being named in Kanu's defense could attract media attention and public speculation. By clarifying he had no knowledge or consent regarding the listing, Wike protects his political image, avoiding association with Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB that could be interpreted negatively by the public or political opponents. The inclusion of government officials in Kanu's witness list can be seen as politically provocative. It highlights the tension between the state and the IPOB. Wike's careful response, acknowledging he would comply if subpoenaed while denying prior involvement, signals a balancing act, respect for the judiciary without giving the impression of political complicity. Hello everyone, welcome back again to this channel. This is about Perspectives, your domain for unfiltered news and raw political analysis.
Sowore has been granted bail. However, while we were conferring with him just here, with all the team of his lawyers and supporters, he was violently attacked by the police. More than 50 police officers violently attacked him and took him again by force. We do not know where they are taking him to. They claim the officer who initiated the attack claimed that he had gotten the remand order. He flashed the remand order to us, but we insisted on seeing and reviewing the details. But he refused and put it back in his pocket. And the next thing he said that they must go. We said, "Where are you taking him to?" He said they are taking him to Kuje Prison. And we said we needed to see the place of the remand as inserted by the court, but he refused to show us the order. An argument ensued. He said because Sowore called the IG useless, that they must deal with Sowore. All of them are dragging Sowore and attacking him. Apparently, they even tore his shirts in the process. So that is the update currently. We're in the process of trying to perfect the condition for bail.
100 of them came into this court compound, surrounded this mango to where we're all sitting. And the next thing is, they grabbed Sowore by the neck, Some were holding his shirt, some were holding his leg. You know, they were rough handling him. They pushed him until they crashed into this woman's food shop. I don't know what to call it, where he sells food. This is his table. Okay, let me show you. That's the woman's table. They broke it, fell her way, scattered everything. The woman is there. They destroyed her properties for no just cause. Sowore was not resisting going. He said, show me the order you claim that you have, and I will follow you. But the man did not show the order. He just flashed a piece of paper like this so that you can't read it, and then squeezed it and put it in his pocket, and they all bundled him into their vehicle. One of the lawyers, Tope, was injured. If you check his hand, he's injured. Blood was coming out. His bib, this white thing we wear on the neck, was stained with blood. All of us, we ran away. And then the funny thing is that there was a guy who was the lawyer. He was making a call here. They say he was filming them. They also bundled him into their vehicle and left. And they refused anybody from bringing out their phones. If they saw you with phone, they grab you and throw you into their vehicle. So I want to find out really from Nigeria and from the Inspector General of Police. Did you give your men order to arrest people who video them in when they are arresting people?
Today, we are diving deep into a series of events that have once again exposed the cracks in Nigeria's political and judicial system. These developments not only involve the high-profile figures like Nnamdi Kanu and Omoyele Sowore, but also raises serious questions about the integrity of law enforcement and the independence of the judiciary. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, made headlines by choosing to defend himself in court after dismissing his legal team. This is a move that has actually, somehow drawn attention nationwide and internationally, because it is rare for such high-profile political figure to, take on their own defense in a case of this magnitude. In the same vein, Omoyele Sowore, a prominent activist and political commentator, along with Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother and lawyer and other associates, were initially released after being detained by the police over protests for the Nnamdi Kanu. Shockingly, Sowore was rearrested almost immediately after being granted bail, in what many observers are calling a blatant disregard for the rule of law. Many Nigerians have expressed outrage over Sowore's arrest, especially because it is coincided with the release of Nnamdi Kanu's brothers and lawyer. Social media and public discourse quickly tagged this as an act of injustice, questioning why the prominent, protest leader like Sowore was not actually, or should I say, initially arrested. However, from the police perspectives, the action was justified.
Omoyele Sowore led them into the restricted area in contravention of the court order. So it will be most unfair to charge some people to court and leave the person that led them to commit that more like their leader, the lead protester who told them and took them into the restricted area. And that's why in the spirit of fair play and to ensure that justice is served, Omoyele Sowore was arrested today, and like the others too, he wouldn't spend time with us. He wouldn't spend up to 24 hours with us. Once we wrap up the charges, he's going to be prosecuted. In fact, if everything goes right, our plan is to ensure that he is prosecuted today.
This is the time Judiciary need to prove to the world that Nigeria is not a banana republic. We are talking about court premises. Somebody, listen, I'm telling you that these people, this is an affront to Judiciary. And when we are talking about Judiciary, we are talking about the bench and the bar. We are not calling MBA. Look at a colleague that came to do his professional work.
Yes, he stained with blood.
You stain the color with blood. We are talking about in court premises. We are a judge.
Authority maintained that Sowore's arrest was not targeted or politically motivated, but rather aimed at ensuring equality before the law. In their view, the enforcement of legal procedures must apply uniformly, even to high-profile activists, to maintain order, accountability, and justice. Essentially, the police argued that no one, regardless of social status or public visibility, is above the law. From an analytical standpoint, this incident highlights a difficult balancing act. One hand, the timing of the arrest fuels public perception of selective justice and provoke distrust in law enforcement. On the other hand, the police insists that the upholding legal equality sometimes requires firm action, even if it appears controversial. Ultimately, this situation reflects the challenge Nigeria faces in maintaining a judicial system that is both fair and perceived as fair by the public. Transparency, consistency, and communication are critical because public perception often shapes legitimacy more than official statements. From a political perspective, this event highlights the deep systemic issues that continue to plague Nigeria. First, the arbitrary arrests and repeated harassment of citizens, even those legally cleared to, go free in the premises of the court. This is really outrageous and underscore a dangerous culture of impunity within law enforcement agencies. When police actions contradict court orders, it sends a message that judicial authority can be, overridden by the political or personal interests. The targeting of outspoken activists and political figures demonstrate the selective application of justice. Rather than serving as a neutral institution, the law enforcement apparatus is being used as a tool to intimidate and suppress dissenting voices. This is a direct threat to the principles of democracy and civil liberties, including freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. The entire scenario paints a grim picture of governance in Nigeria, a system where power can be, wielded arbitrarily and where court rulings can be ignored, erodes public trust and damage Nigeria's reputation internationally because people are watching, and that is the craziest part of it. I don't actually know if they truly understand that the whole world are watching. Citizens are left questioning whether their rights are protected or if justice is reserved only for the powerful. As this event continues to unfold, it is crucial for Nigerians and the international community to pay attention. The repeated arrests and the provocation and the disregard for legal processes are not just isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a larger systemic problem that must be addressed. Remember, in this platform, we will continue to monitor the situation closely and bring you updates as soon as they happen. If you care about democracy, accountability, and future of governance in Nigeria, this is a story you cannot afford to ignore. Moving back to Nnamdi Kanu's update. As we all know, Nnamdi Kanu's case experienced another twist in court. The proceedings actually stalled because he requested access to his case file documents. This is a significant development because it delays the progress of the trial and underscores the challenges involved in high-stakes legal, battles in Nigeria. Access to case file is a fundamental right for any defendant, especially one defending themselves in a complex political case as that of Nnamdi Kanu. Without these case documents, it is practically impossible to mount a proper defense. This stall adds another layer to an already tense scenario as Kanu sacked his legal team and decided to represent himself. It's actually a bold move that drew national attention, like I said, around the same period. But now, with the stalling of Kanu's trial, the public sees yet another example of how procedural delays, legal technicalities, and administrative hurdles can shape the trajectory of political sensitive cases in Nigeria. These delays fuel both public scrutiny and debate, leaving citizens question whether the system is truly fair or skewed in favor of powerful interests. Let's hint more analysis on this. First, the importance of legal preparedness. Defendants, even high-profile ones, need access to complete documentation to exercise their rights to fair trial. Any hindrance, intentional or procedural, can be perceived as attempt to, compromise the justice. Secondly, the public perception versus institutional justification. While the police argue that all actions are guided by fairness and equity, repeated delays, arrests, and procedural, complications inevitably affect public trust. The perception of selective enforcement often, overshadows the official explanations, particularly in a political charged case like this. As this event continues to unfold, it becomes clear that Nigeria judicial and law enforcement systems face a delicate balancing act, enforcing the law while maintaining public confidence. For example, for citizens, observers, and activists, the stall in Nnamdi Kanu's trial is yet another reminder that transparency, accountability, and consistency remain critical in ensuring justice in both done and seen to be done. We will continue to monitor this as well, bringing you the updates as they happen. Stay subscribed, hit the bell icon, and let us know in the comments what you think about these developments. Are these action genuine attempts at justice, or do they reflect deeper systematic issues? Your thoughts matters. As you could watch, conclusively, Kanu's self-representation, Sowore's arrest and rearrest, and the stalling of court proceedings paint a vivid picture of the challenges facing Nigeria's legal and political system. Citizens, activists, and observers alike are left asking, is justice truly impartial, or is it shaped by political considerations? As this story continues to evolve, we will keep you updated with every development. Remember, understanding this event is crucial, not just for Nigeria, but for anyone interested in principles of democracy, accountability, and the rule of law. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and never stop asking hard questions, even if it takes your own life. I will see you in the next update.